Hi, my name is Hannah. I am currently a sophomore in Midland. I am double majoring in history and communications, and today I will be talking about the Electoral College as controversies and how it's relevant to today. Essentially, I chose the Electoral College for my topic because I'm very interested in politics, current events, and history. I feel that, especially with the most recent elections of 2016 and 2020, it's very important to talk about because not many people know the inside scoop, and it's always a hot topic for debate. First, I'll tell you how electors are determined in each state. You can look at the map in the bottom right of my pamphlet and see how many votes your state or states in general have. The number of electors is determined by the number of representatives and two electors for both the senators in each state. There are two senators in each state, so everyone, no matter what the population, gets two votes. That's why some states like Alaska and North Dakota only have three because they have lower populations, whereas Texas has 34 because it has a larger population. However, you might think that this is accurate. There is a problem with proportional representation, meaning that one elector in California might represent 700,000 people, whereas in Wyoming, one elector only represents 170,000 people. That means the people with 170,000 get more representation than the people in California. That is one issue that some people have with the Electoral College. Why it's debated is that usually whatever party doesn't win a presidential election might claim that there's an issue with the Electoral College and that it shouldn't be in place. This occurs especially in the years where the popular vote loses, which has only occurred 5 times in U.S. history since the creation of the Constitution. But the most recent one was in 2016 when Donald Trump won the presidential election with 304 Electoral College votes, and Hillary Clinton only had 227, but she still won the popular vote. Some solutions or modifications that people want to make to the Electoral College is just make it so that there's a direct popular vote. Whoever gets the majority wins the presidency. Or another idea is to have congressional districts determine the winner, which would basically mean the little cities and counties where you live would determine a winner. But with that, you're going to have a lot more votes since there's obviously a bunch of cities in the United States, probably thousands. And this would also make it harder for presidential candidates to target certain areas, as they usually go for the swing states who might lean either way, vote blue or vote red, Democratic or Republican, or the states with the most voters like Texas and Florida are usually targeted. The Supreme Court case I chose to review for this was Shiflow v. Washington. It is just a case from 2020, so it's very recent, but it deals with the 2016 election where Washington electors are supposed to pledge to vote for the winner of the popular vote in their presidential election. And in 2016, there were 3 people that were fined $1,000 for breaking that rule and not voting for the popular vote winner in their state, that being Hillary Clinton. They went through the courts and made it up to the Supreme Court and claimed that their First Amendment rights were violated. However, the Supreme Court went against that and had a unanimous decision that said a state may enforce an elector's pledge to support his party's nominee and the state's voters' choice for president. Since the states choose the electors, the states essentially have power over who the electors vote for. But this is also controversial because the electors' original purpose was to come together and debate and choose the president that way. It was created that way because when the U.S. Constitution was made, usually only the elite, wealthy white males had most of the political power. They didn't believe that the average citizen was educated enough to determine who the president should be. This also means with the Electoral College that currently the popular vote does not directly determine who becomes the president, which some people don't understand. That is why people are thinking, what if we just do popular vote rather than have an Electoral College? But in order to get rid of that, you would need to have something passed through Congress, or there's a couple other small ways, but the biggest way would be to pass an amendment that would oversee what's already in the Constitution, and that's very difficult because of the two-party system in place, because you might propose something in the House, it might pass through the House, but if the Democrats propose it, the Republicans are more than likely going to shoot it down just because they want to, because they don't want it to be passed. So it's kind of the question at the end of this is, at what point do we attempt to challenge and modify or destroy the system that our founding fathers put into place over 200 years ago? I hope that you enjoyed this little presentation and hopefully you learned something.